Okay. Still on day 7 of this, and really she's taking up a lot of space. Now, if this was a normal sized doll, like a Barbie doll, and having made a lot of Barbie clothes over the years, way back in the day, there's this thing you can do called a doll stand. You take a piece of coat hanger wire, you bend it around, make a little hook on top of it to hook up under her shoulders, and hold her up. It's a little bigger than a Barbie doll. So what we got to do, let's sketch this out. We need a plate for her to stand on. We need a pole that goes right up to the width of her armpits. We need a cross piece. We need 2 posts to go under her arms. From the side, just look like that. Just up on an angle a little bit so that her arms go down here. Shoulders there, head's there, and the body go like this. Down to the legs here. Something like that. We'll probably end these just there. End these posts just there. So that's the plan. That's what we got to work on. Now, I don't think I got a coat hanger big enough to do that with. But what I do have is some doweling, a bunch of chunks of plywood and MDF, well, not MDF, OSB there, and I got some wooden rods and some flat pieces. So I'll measure and cut those up. I still got a pile of wood screws, so I'm behind there. So I'll measure and cut some of those up. Maybe on the stand I can put a couple of supports this way on the bottom and one going forward between her feet, maybe one backwards. So yeah, let's see how much I can do with that. Not going to be a very technical process, this measuring. Let's find a marker. Oh, we got one around here somewhere. No. Ah, there we go. Markers. Right where they don't belong. So we'll take this one. No, we'll take this one. Blue one. There. Now we just want it to be maybe an inch or 2 taller than her armpit. Her armpit's going to sit there. Yeah. So we'll give it half of my thumb. There's our height. Right there. That's first cut. That, and we need a stand to put it on. Yeah, that looks good enough. There. Piece of, not sure if it's 1/2 inch or 3/8, probably 1/2 inch. Well, let's check. It's a 1/2 inch or 3/8. Looks like 1/2 inch to me. So we got a chunk of 1/2 inch plywood. We got our post, which we're going to cut. We're going to mount it on a corner. A little bit in from the corner, maybe. Or we're going to mount it center on one edge. I'm thinking center on one edge, then I can put supports in 3 directions. Okay, I'll cut that. I'll drill a couple holes and screw it together. Now we'll have our stand started. Got the first two pieces cut. Center mark. That's the top. Finish side is going to be the facing the dummy. So that's going to go there. Not going to be too tall. It'll be easy enough to pull it out of the way. Well, that's going to go there. I'm going to put support pieces here, here, and here. I'll cut at 45. Next piece on this end, up here, is going to go across this way, like that. That's going to be along the back of the shoulders here. So it'll go. I want it to go just past the armpit on either side, because I'm going to measure to put the. That's big enough. Not quite as wide as the shoulders. So you're not quite into the shoulder there, not quite into the shoulder there, about there. So I'll cut this one. All right. So I got the first of 3 of these cut, these angle pieces. They'll support the vertical post. They'll sit like this on the side at the base, and like that in the front. I might cut 2 extras to go here on the top, but that's up in the air. Anyway, so here's what you do. You cut the first end at 45. You measure and cut the second end at 45. For the remaining 2 cuts, lay it like that, trace the line, cut. Lay it like that, trace the line, cut. It's the minimum number of cuts to get the angles you want. And, just working with the hands on some scrap material, I think I'm doing pretty good so far. Once I get everything cut, I'll let you know. We got all the support structure laid out here, all these pieces cut. That's what they're going to look like all put together. So there's going to be 4 screws in the base, 3 more holding these onto the post, 2 holding this plate onto here. So that's 4, 7, 9. There's going to be 2 more screws holding the 2 vertical or horizontal rods at either end of this to go under the arms. Those got to be cut. I think I'm going to drill some pilot holes, and put this structure together first and stand it up, so we can all see what it's going to look like. Got all the screws in there. It's all put together on the base. It's the right height. I don't know that that's perfectly 90 degrees, but if it looks straight, it's straight. Ain't like I'm building a fucking Eiffel Tower model or something. It's just a doll stand. So, yeah. I just got to put these rods in here for the armpits. So I'm going to have to flip her over, measure the distance between our armpits in a straight line. Cut that in half from here to here, from here to here. And cut a couple pieces of that rod. Mount them up. That shouldn't be difficult. If anything, if I cut them on a bit of an angle, they can angle up a little bit and hold her in place. But this should all work out well. I mean, it's reasonably stable. Looks decent. Doesn't look like garbage, which is basically what it's made out of. Okay, flip her over and measure. Wish all women were that light. So we got a measurement across the back of the shoulders of, from this point there, straight across to this point here, is 14 inches. That's pretty good. Measure, get the pen measure from the center out. Put 7 at the center. Which makes 1 mark there. One mark there. Okay. Now how big should I cut those rods? Let's see. We want it to go almost to the front, but not quite. Point your back down so you can see. There. We want it to almost come out the front, but not quite. Or a little bit out the front, if anything. So I'll put my hand there. I'll hold the end of that right at the edge of our armpit, and to where it'll sit flat is 6 inches. There we go. So we're 2 pieces of 6 inches each. That side, 6 inches each. Good enough. I'll cut those, drill them, and put them in, and then I'll show you when it's done. We have our giant Barbie doll stand. You know, I remember seeing a bunch of those little plastic ones at the dollar store, buying them years back, and realizing when I got home they were shit and they fell apart, and I was better off just using the wire coat hanger, which I did, and I still got about, Christ, 40 or 50 of those things in a bin somewhere with a bunch of dolls. Probably in one of those bins up there. But let's see how it works. Find a spot for you to stand. Get you a good view of everything. There. Do it. Does it? Okay. She ain't standing even, but she's standing. I'll have to shift things around a bit. Twist the posts up and down, but she stands. She's out of the way. Now you can use her as a dressing dummy as well. Also makes it a little easier to move her around. Bring her over here. As soon as that suitcase gets picked up by the client, and she can stand right in there, out of the way when she's not on the table. But she's going back on the table tomorrow, for the sake of, give me a minute. There. Yeah, she's going back on the table tomorrow to start dealing with her hands and her feet. But for right now, I think it's a good place for her. We'll just sit her there, and everything will be fine. Because of the compression on the spandex there, she's lost a couple inches. Turns out she's going to be about 5 foot. 4 inches shorter than intended. That's fine. Talk to you next time.